आज रात 12 बजे से संपूर्ण देश में संपूर्ण लॉकडाउन होने जा रहा है।
Tensions are rising in Catalonia. An independence referendum is planned for October the 1st.
The economy is going into a spiral of dysfunctionality.
Venezuela has, of today, the highest inflation in the world.
Exactly 2 decades after they were ousted from power.
In Milano, ministers from all over the world have gathered here to discuss the climate crisis, and they are pretending that they have solutions to the climate crisis and that they are taking sufficient action. But we see through their lies and we see through their blah blah blah, and we are tired of it.
Well, I'm Ryan James. I'm a junior entrepreneur that likes to recycle. I'm 8 years old and I'm in 3rd grade. That's definitely not water.
My name is Josh Kaplan. I'm a 19-year-old from Phoenix, Arizona.
My name is Megan Warren. I am 15 years old.
I'm 17 years old.
I am 15 years old.
17 years old.
I'm 16 years old.
And I'm the founder of Goals.
I am the founder of Ayana International. I started Books for Bedtime.
Namaste. With great pleasure and excitement, I, Tanushka Agrawal,
and I, Harshit Khandelwal,
feel honored to welcome you all to the 6th iteration of the Shishukunj Model United Nations Conference. We're all acquainted with how COVID-19 has impacted all of our lives and confined us to our homes. And I think it is safe to say that each one of us has risen like a phoenix from the ashes, a different, better version of ourselves. During the past 2 years, we have adapted, transformed, and reconstructed not just ourselves, but a whole school of thought on various subjects.
After the unexpected pandemic and subsequent lockdown, it seemed as if the whole world had shut down. It felt bizarre to see some of the busiest places like roads, buildings, completely empty, as if devoid of life whatsoever. But as Pablo Neruda says in his poem, perhaps the earth can teach us, as when something seems dead and later proves to be alive.
And so it did. And now we get to experience busy and lively roads as schools and public spaces reopen and offer a glimpse to what can be the new normal, a new sense of light and life. Life is coming back to earth, which seems so still for so long. And as life awakens and normalcy is restored, we are set to provide, explore, and utilize all the opportunities that can be availed to us in this developing world.
Model United Nations offers such an opportunity to the blooming leaders of today and tomorrow to enhance their journey towards knowledge and growth. As we start this conference today, we have Mr. Anansh Prasad as our chief guest. Mr. Anansh Prasad is a Cornell graduate. He is also serving as the founder and director of SkillsFair, an organization that helps students develop vocational skills all across the globe. Sir, the Shishukunj family welcomes you.
We, the Shishukunj family, always seek the blessing of the Almighty before we commence a new journey. And today, as we begin to add a new chapter to Shishukunj history, I would like to invite the dignitaries to light the lamp and seek the blessing of the Almighty.
Seek the blessings of God and commit to hard work and dedication. We take pride in introducing to you the Shishukunj MUN 2021. The theme of the conference is coordination, contemplation, and commonalities, an idea which emphasizes on the need to include everyone in the process of global development.
Coordination. Through MUN conferences, young minds come together to form consensus using negotiation and communication, and learn empathy, sympathy, compassion, teamwork, and tolerance along the way. It effectively encourages everyone to work together to solve the issue at hand.
Contemplation is important so that the leaders of the future are involved in considerate and inclusive thinking in policy making process and understand the impacts of the decisions, policies, words and ideas. It also involves reviewing, analyzing, amending the policies of the past and also changing, evaluating and molding them in such a way that the future generations can adapt to them and adopt them.
Commonalities. In an MUN, each one of us represents different cultures, different histories and different people. But as delegates, it's our responsibility to ensure that we find the common strings of humanity and interest that bind us all together. Each action has 1,000 repercussions, and those repercussions are faced by all people alike. No person is devoid of the impact of exploitation, wars, or even positive action on the other side of the globe. So an individualistic approach is not an option.
In this conference, Shishukunj MUN brings to you 11 dynamic committees, each with its own intriguing agenda directed towards a critical issue of today that compels the delegates to participate actively and devise constructive resolutions.
These committees encompass a range of agendas, from gender equality to nuclear testing. 47 members of the organizing committee have worked day and night to make this conference possible and to ensure that this is an experience that helps you evolve into a better version of yourself and leaves you with memories that you can learn from and cherish.
In this conference, we have 4 General Assembly committees, 4 ECOSOC committees and 3 specialized committees, out of which 4 are junior and 7 are senior committees.
Now we would like to invite our guest speaker, Mr. Anansh Prasad, to address the audience with his enlightening words.
Hello everyone, my name is Anansh Prasad and I'm the founder and managing director of SkillsFair Education, and I'm absolutely delighted to be giving a speech as a part of Shishukunj MUN 2021. I've been associated with Shishukunj International School and its model UNs for several years now, and I'm very happy to see the way they have evolved, and today we are also hosting an online MUN. The executive board has worked very hard on the entire process, so has the organizing committee, all the faculty members of Shishukunj, and I'm sure it's going to be a very, very enlightening experience for all of you delegates. Delegates, irrespective of where I go and wherever I speak about model UNs and their objectives, I always ask a very simple question, and I'll ask you the same question, and I want you to think about it. Why are you participating in this model UN conference? What is it that you're getting out of it? How many of you are actually going to end up becoming diplomats? Because this is a simulation of the United Nations, so probably this trains you to become diplomats, isn't it? So how many of you are going to become diplomats, quite honestly? Well, I hope a lot of you are saying yes in your minds or are raising your hands to say yes. But the truth of the matter is probably one among all of you will end up representing India in the United Nations. I hope a lot more of you do so, but I'm sure all of you have different career aspirations. So the question arises as to why do you participate in these model UNs then? What is it that they give you? Well, the truth of the matter is that model UNs are probably the best composite skill set development opportunity for all of you students, whether in high school or in college. They allow you to develop multiple skills in a platform that is largely non-competitive in nature, especially when you talk about the UN for MUN procedure, which is very collaborative. It is not competitive. You get to develop skills like public speaking, negotiation, diplomacy, lobbying, problem solving, decision making, enhance your global awareness, and of course, learn the art of polite disagreement. Irrespective of what job you decide to take up, what profession you decide to pursue in the future, each of these different skills is going to be indispensable. And developing these at a young age is all the more important. So for all of you delegates, I strongly urge that as far as this model UN is concerned, please approach it from a skill set development perspective. Your executive board members are extremely competent and will do their very best to guide you at every point of the conference. Have a lot of fun, and at the end of the day, just make sure that you stay enlightened, stay happy, stay positive. Thank you so much, and on behalf of Skillsphere Education, we extend our heartiest gratitude as well as wishes to the Shishukunj International School MUN team and to all of you. Bye-bye. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a pleasure to have you in our midst virtually.
Following the tradition that has been set at Shishukunj, we would now like to officiate the Bureau and Secretariat members by giving them the gavel. The gavel ceremony is an integral part of any MUN. All the members will walk on the stage and be recognized for their efforts and will be given the authority that they will employ in the next coming days. The gavel ceremony instills authority in the Bureau members to moderate and monitor the conference and impact the lives of the students they will interact in the coming days. I would now like to invite the dignitaries to distribute the gavels.
First, I invite the Bureau of Disarmament and International Security Committee, DISEC.
All India political parties meet.
United Nations Women.
United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees.
Bureau of United Nations Committee on Science and Technology for Development.
International Monetary Fund.
Bureau of United Nations Office on Drug and Crime.
United Nations Commission for Social Development.
United Nations Security Council.
Generalitat of Catalonia. And lastly, ad hoc under the Secretary General. Now, I would like to invite the members of the Secretariat to receive their gavel. First, I call the Under Secretary General of the General Assembly, Ms. Anjali Dakar and Ms. Sanjana Goyal.
Under Secretary General of Economic and Social Council, Ms. Disha Gupta.
Under Secretary General of Specialized Committees, Ms. Suhani Salgia.
Under Secretary General International Press, Ms. Nirali Mahajan.
Under Secretary General of Delegate Affairs, Ms. Ananya Saggi and Master Avi Shivastav.
Under Secretary General Technical Affairs, Master Nab Patodi and Master Ayush Pursnani.
Crisis Director, Master Punya Chokse.
Now I would request the Director General, Ms. Isha Turakia, to collect her gavel.
And I finally call upon the Secretary General, Ms. Sparsh Jain, to receive her gavel. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I would now like to invite the Director General to address the delegates.
Respected teachers, Secretariat members, Bureau members, Organizing Committee, and my dear delegates, a very hearty welcome to you all to the 6th iteration of the Shishukunj Model United Nations 2021. I, Isha Turakia, feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude and honor being Director General of this conference, where we aim at achieving coordination, contemplation, and commonalities. I hope you all are in the best of your health and are keeping safe. Even in these unusual times, the Shishukunj MUN spirit is as high as ever. Since the new normal for a while now has been social distancing, online learning, and virtual meetings, I welcome you all today to a slightly new normal, Shishukunj MUN from a remote access. It is such a delight to be able to interact with you all after such a long hiatus. It would have been even more delightful if I were in your midst in a room full of you inquisitive delegates. Each one of us is a student of courage, a student with inner strength, a student of self-discipline, a student of diligence, a student of wisdom, and a student full of compassion. So let's aspire, inspire, and help each other grow, prosper, and flourish. The amount of confidence MUNing has instilled in me is commendable, and I now possess the power to shape my own dreams into reality. With that, I shall carry forward the legacy of the past Secretariat with absolute sincerity and commitment. MUNing is not just about imitating the international relations of the present, but is rather about forging international relations for the future. In a classroom, a student learns from their teacher. At conferences, students learn from each other. Every conference has taught me something new about the world and myself. I learned how to stand, speak, deal with others, delegate, deliberate, lead, write, read and research properly, and so many other talents I would have never learned without MUNing. MUNs have given me the most amazing thing in life, a passion and a love that I can't shake. I would like to put forward to this very learned audience that Shishukunj MUN has been a platform for each one of us to understand our inner capabilities and put in that extra effort to achieve our goal. We at Shishukunj MUN this year are going to be a part of history, where at adversity we are trying to get out of our comfort zone and understand the values of compassion and empathy towards human suffering. With a little nervousness and more faith, let's take Shishukunj MUN to a more humane level and bring about development in its true sense. No one can whistle a symphony, it takes a whole orchestra to play it. There's no match without players. Similarly, there can be no MUNing without you delegates. So let's applaud each one of us. Finally, with our fingers crossed and a positive start to Shishukunj MUN 2021, hoping for a bright and real interactive conference, this is me, Isha Turakhia, Director General at Shishukunj MUN, hoping to make learning and engagement bigger and better for each one of us this year. Thank you.
Let us now invite the Secretary General, Ms. Sparsh Jain, on the stage.
Respected teachers, members of the Secretariat, the Bureau, the Organizing Committee, and my dear delegates. I feel honored and privileged to welcome you all to the 6th iteration of the Shishukunj Model United Nations Conference, an institution that has artistically crafted personalities, fostered young minds, and nurtured thousands of leaders of tomorrow since its commencement in 2015. Today, as I stand here, I am reminded of the young me who participated in her first conference 6 years ago, totally unaware of how it will become a defining part of her identity in the coming years. Back when I was a stranger to MUNs, I used to wonder how mere words or elaborate speeches written and spoken by young students like me have the power to change the world. It was until I participated in my first conference that I realized the potential these words embody. I still remember the chills down my spine when I walked up to the podium and delivered my first speech in front of my committee, unable to read the very sentences I drafted on my own. The fear, the anxiety, the cluelessness, and the apprehension that took over me when I realized that I was being watched by a room full of people patiently sitting there just to listen to me. It was in that moment I realized that I was being heard, and what I say today matters. Every action you perform, every word you speak, and every decision you take is being recorded and watched, holding you responsible for the future you carve for the world as a whole. How history is defined and tomorrow's infinity is laid for the past and posterity is based on what you do today. The relations you establish with those around you will be the foundations on which the society is framed hereafter. The compassion and the tolerance with which you see the world today will decide how it is painted for the future generations. And the inclusivity with which you set the boundaries today will determine the laws of tomorrow. This idea of collective responsibility and interconnectivity is what we wish to instill in you through this conference. The theme of this conference, coordination, contemplation, and commonalities, expresses how individual action is linked to social response, and how it is only through inclusive planning and effective implementation of sound strategies can universal crises be averted. As you sit there thinking about global issues, you've already prepared yourself for the several opportunities of gaining knowledge and development that lie ahead of you. In the days of vigorous debates and discussions that follow this moment, all of you are going to indulge in conversations ranging from election systems to refugees, cryptocurrency to hyperinflation, missiles to terrorism, representing supreme leaders and powers of the world, and drafting solutions that have the ability to save and impact thousands of lives. I hope that when after these 2 days you leave your committee sessions, you leave with not just fun memories and a lot of learned information, but also with better insights into how you can make a difference in this world. To conclude, I hope that as the upholders of humanities, citizens of the world, and future leaders of tomorrow, you utilize this opportunity and the 1,000 that may come your way to your best and deliver your 100% to benefit the society as a whole. On that note, with the power vested in me, I, Sparsh Jain, the Secretary General of the Shishukunj Model United Nations Conference 2021, now declare this conference open.